I know you're governor, and you took an oath to enforce the laws.
Just say your first name, sir.
Melvin Brown,
Melvin.
56 Roy Street. Abortion is the knowing destruction of life of an unborn child. Why is the Commonwealth funding abortions?
Well, I'm not sure the Commonwealth is, but the Commonwealth is funding health care for women and men and children. And I think, you and I think, may differ on the question of choice. Sounds like we do. I think there are a whole bunch of decisions, Melvin, due respect to your view, really respectful of your view, because I think this is hard for people. But for me, I come down on the side of choice because I think there are a whole bunch of decisions that governments just don't make very well and shouldn't be involved in. And deeply personal ones about that affect a woman's health and her family planning are ones that I just don't think governments make very well. So I think that's one better the government stays out of it and leaves that as a decision between a woman, her family, and her doctor.
Murder is destruction of an unborn life. It's very simple. If I kill you, I'm a murderer, right? But if you kill my child, an unborn, oh, that's all right. I have a choice. No, you don't have. You see upstairs, God is our witness. We all face him, and we'll have to do it.
Well, listen, I couldn't agree with you more about what we all have to face and who we all have to face. I'm a man of faith, too.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I respect your view, Mel. Please don't hear me as being disrespectful to you or your view. But my conscience and my faith lead me to a different conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Lot of the representatives. My name is Joanne Abel, and I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
I just got back from Brazil, and so I'm not up on everything that's going on, but there's some gnawing issues that really upset me. One is when you refuse to accept the $750,000 federal grant money to teach abstinence education in the public schools.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to know that there are many STDs that are happening. We have epidemic proportions. I'm acquainted and related to a lot of medical people. That there would save the state a lot of money. We need to look into some of these things. Parents are not being represented, so I would like you to make an effort to pass some of these family-friendly laws and to accept money that is coming from the federal government to teach abstinence education. I'm one of those who collected over 200,000 signatures to have a voice in the Commonwealth, a voice in our government. And the night before the Second Constitutional Convention was passed, we know that representatives were receiving promises and were not encouraged to support the people's right to vote. That's what we want in this Commonwealth, is a voice. And unfortunately,
Joanne,
that's not happening.
are you still talking about the abstinence only, or are you on a different subject?
I'm on a different subject.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like to hit a lot of subjects when I have a microphone in front of me, absolutely.
I'm beginning to regret calling on you.
No, but seriously, when I hear all these remarks about education and the concern for our kids academically, we all know that any child with a strong moral base is going to have a lot more incentive for studying harder, for applying themselves, for having time to get an education before they're thrown into sex ed classes at age 5. There's no reason why 5-year-olds in this state need to be taught how to have same sex. And 14-year-olds are being told horrendous things, that they have to experiment to find out if they're gay or not, that they can't find out or know, possibly know, without experimenting. I'm tired of the lying in Massachusetts, and Governor, you can do something about it. So tell me, what are you going to do about it?
Well, first of all, I think you're talking about two issues.
Yes.
But I think you see them as related. Is that right?
They are related.
Okay, and the first one has to do with the abstinence-only funding from the federal government.
Right.
And the second has to do with the ballot initiative on same-sex marriage, is that
Yes.
true?
Mhm.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right.
Yes, you're hearing me.
Okay, so Joanne, on same-sex marriage, does everybody know what we're talking about? Some of you do, some of you don't. So there is or was a federal program. I actually think it's on its way out.
The abstinence program.
The
yes.
abstinence program, which provided federal funding for local public schools,
Absolutely.
provided they taught abstinence only. Only. We teach abstinence in Massachusetts schools, not at 5, by the way, but we teach abstinence. We just don't teach abstinence only, and the reason we don't is because because all the studies show that you don't get good outcomes. That young people need information, that age-appropriate information. Okay, so I'm the bit about
That's
5
very
is
questionable, the age appropriate.
but the studies show that young people need age-appropriate information to make responsible choices, and that abstinence should be, and in my view, should be a part of that exposure. But it's not all of that exposure. And the problem with the federal money, from my perspective, is the condition was that if you taught, that you could not teach anything else but abstinence. You couldn't teach about human development. You couldn't teach about human sexuality. You couldn't teach about safe sex. And you know, there are just no studies that indicate that that is ultimately very good for young people. So that was my view. That's why I rejected the money. Now,
Well,
secondly,
I'm not sure where you're getting your information, Governor.
I can tell you where I'm getting my information. If you want to,
I would wanna
give
check
me
that
your.
out before I do
Okay.
it.
Well, I'd like to
Go
check
on.
out your claim about what 5-year-olds are getting
Well,
in
we
the
know
public
that
school.
they're all being given books that are teaching them and instructing them
Joanne, where?
in the schools all over
Where?
Massachusetts.
Where? I mean, I hear this all the
In
time. I mean, due
Lexington,
respect.
Massachusetts,
Excuse me,
you've heard
Joanne.
of the
Due
David Crocker
respect.
case.
Due respect. It's a serious conversation about whether abstinence only versus a more comprehensive sex education that is age appropriate should be taught in the schools. That's a serious issue.
I agree with
But
you,
this
Governor.
notion of what you know, bringing into it what 5-year-olds are shown, it's urban legend. So I'm going to show you, and I will get for you, if you give me your contact information. I will show you the data I relied on to make this decision, because I studied it.
I would
And
certainly appreciate
I would just
it.
ask you, Joanne, if you could show me the school where that curriculum for the 5-year-old is having. I want to know about that too,
Well,
right?
you should, Governor, because it went all the way to the Supreme Court. The David and Tanya Parker case in Lexington, Massachusetts, which many of you, I'm sure most of you, are well aware of. Their 5-year-old was bringing home diversity bags with children's literature and books, all insisting that this is normal and that it's advantageous and it's a desirable lifestyle. It absolutely was.
I again, due respect. I know a little bit about that case, but I don't think that. Yeah, but I know that was not the material in that school. Do you want to talk about the ballot initiative, or you want to talk about the ballot initiative, or you want to move on? Okay, Joanne. Thank you. Thank you. Seriously. Contact information. If you want me to show you what I looked at on the abstinence only, I'm happy to do that.